Hey guys, it's Chris from Enola Gay, and it's time for Valken Debrief Live.
Welcome to the most interactive airsoft show on the interwebs. It's the Valken Debrief Airsoft live show. Each and every episode is sponsored by the fine folks at Enola Gay. Also, don't forget to sign up for the largest growing airsoft community in the world, known as the Valken Alliance. You can link up with other Alliance members throughout your region on our Facebook groups by just searching the Valken Alliance. We also offer Alliance sponsorships for qualified airsoft teams. And the Valken Debrief also shares local and national airsoft events so you don't miss out what's going on in your region. We also give away some sweet products from time to time, so the more you interact, the greater the chance you could win. And we work hard to bring you new and exciting special guests during each episode. You can also find us at many airsoft events throughout the world. And if you miss any of our live casts, you can always catch the rewind on our YouTube channel or SoundCloud. So sit back and get ready for your Valken Debrief. Hey everybody, welcome to the Valken Debrief Airsoft live show, episode number
108.
108.
And what did you get for Christmas this year? What was your favorite present?
I got a lot of Star Wars stuff, so it's
Duh.
I know, right? It's kind of hard. Mrs. Kaiju, she done me good.
Took care of you?
Oh yeah, and the little ones, the little Padawans, they got me some cool stuff.
So you're squared away. You had Santa hooked you up. You're good to go.
Oh,
Stocking
yeah.
was full. Cool.
What
good
about
to hear.
you?
I don't really want anything. So I just tell people if don't buy me stuff because I'm not a stuff guy. Like, I like having I have a laptop, a truck, some guns, and that's all my worldly possessions. Did you get stuff for your I got some socks. I got some new wool socks. I know that sounds really, really sad, but
you're a simple guy.
I like good socks, and I spend a lot of time on my feet. So you know what I mean?
That's true.
You got to know your audience.
I'm the Kaiju, the Supreme Commander of the Valken Alliance.
This is Peltast. Right underneath, you can see this. I am officially Lord Fuzzyface of BBshire. If you are a citizen of BBshire, I have a public announcement for you. We are doing voter registration, so please get down to your local post office at BBshire and register. Otherwise, you won't be able to vote. So, Announcements coming soon.
Yes. So we want to give a quick shout out. Tag your friends. Mm-hmm. Get them in here. Because it's what you, the viewers, you guys and gals, make the show.
This isn't our show.
Comments, your questions.
Is your show.
And we're really excited about today's show. It's really cool.
Two of the coolest people. I think. I almost wish we taped the pre-show. I was having so much fun talking to these guys. Right? It was a blast, man. I'm so excited to do this interview. What about you?
Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited too. I'm not sure where we're gonna go in the interview, but it's really cool. We've got Timothy Selby and Matthew Campbell from the Airsoft Amigos.
Oh, you got to say his Instagram. That's just rad. You got to say it.
Oh, Cinematic Campbell.
That's great. I love that. Funny as hell.
And because if you didn't know, he's in the film industry. Matt is in the film industry. Tim is an actor. Matt is more on the director side. On some things, and
he's gonna yell at you for calling him a director.
I know, because prop master. I mean, he does some cool stuff. I know I'm gonna screw up his title, but I'm sure we'll ask him and he'll explain it to us. But you don't want to go anywhere.
Oh, and as a special treat at the end, these two have produced a film, and we might be airing it.
Yes.
I don't know.
So we have to watch till the end of the show.
We have to ask their permission.
Yeah.
But if they okay it, we might have the first blue and yellow carpet event. I like that. I like blue and yellow carpet.
So we want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Enola Gay.
Ooh, Enola Gay. Smoke.
Boom.
Lifestyle apparel. Backpacks.
Yep.
Hats. Do they do hats?
No, they do bags.
EG, get on the hat. Get your hat game on point.
Just go to Enola/gay.com.
In fact, the best smoke I've ever seen, period. Yep. You vape guys got nothing on Enola Gay smoke. Exactly. That's all I'm saying.
Also, be sure to check out the Valken Alliance.
#1 pyramid scheme in Airsoft. Get your downstreams signed up right now.
Yep. We're just trying to get folks to, get out and play Airsoft.
Do we have a featured region this week?
Oh, yes, we do. And so after you sign up, head on back over to Facebook and search the Valken Alliance, where we have actual Facebook regions where you can connect with other players and see events going on in your area. And tonight's featured region is Canada West, Region 7.
So that's like British Columbia and all that stuff. Is that the western side of Canada?
It is.
I don't know.
It is.
I'm not that familiar
It does
with
say
Canadian.
Canada West, so...
Oh, that would probably be a giveaway, right?
Exactly, right? So tag your friends, get them in here, share the show. It's going to be great. We're going to stop talking because we have a feeling this interview with Tim and
It's
Matt...
going to break the internet. It's going to break it.
It's going to be so great. So don't go away. Don't go away. We're going to be right back after this quick commercial break. The shortest path to your target is always a straight line. Be sure to check out Valken's full line of highly polished precision BBs made in Taiwan. The Valken Accelerate Pro Match BB is available now at your local Valken authorized dealer. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Valken Debrief Airsoft live show number
108. 3 weeks in a row.
It is.
I get it right. I'm having a
108.
cookie when I home. Congratulatory cookie.
I know.
Because I got it right.
And today's like what, second Christmas?
Boxing Day almost if you're English.
I know, right?
Boxing Day. This is where you take over for your servants and you serve them.
I know.
I don't have any servants. I am the
So
servant
awesome.
in my house.
And yes, we are still here day after Christmas providing you
because we love you.
the Debrief Live.
You guys. Number one show in Airsoft. Highest rated.
Biggest budget.
Biggest budget.
Biggest budget.
Most number of people who have ever watched an Airsoft show at one time.
Yep.
Is that too big a claim? No, I'm
I
making
know.
that claim right now. Highest watched Airsoft show. Airsoft. Oh, we're getting
my
loopy.
goodness.
It is.
I am the Kaiju.
This is Peltast. How you doing, guys? Love all you.
If you didn't tag your friends during the commercial break, please tag your friends. Get them in here. You don't want to miss out because we are introducing...
Who's our bomb tag victim of the day? Are we picking one to target? I'm going to say John Liu.
You're going to bomb tag John Liu?
John Liu is our bomb tag target of the day.
And you know what? We'll go J&J. I'm going to bomb tag John Pinkleton.
Ooh,
JP.
Pinkleton? I like that.
Pinkleton, yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I know,
name.
right? So
that's a new pronunciation, John, if you're watching. The JP
let
himself.
us introduce you to our wonderful guests who are coming in via satellite from British Columbia.
Oh, can we just hit all of the emoji and hearts
I know.
and thumbs up
Hit
for
all
these
the hearts,
guys?
likes, buttons.
These guys are legendary.
Yes,
Oh.
these guys, they make up the tandem duo Airsoft Amigos. Please welcome Matthew Campbell and Timothy Selby.
Wait a minute. I don't see a sombrero. Where are the sombreros? They're the Airsoft Amigos, but there's no sombreros. What's up with that? I mean,
Hey,
I was expecting.
You know what? Just to let you know, amigos mean friends.
Oh, okay.
That's it. We don't need
My-
sombreros.
My Spanish is not very good. I don't know much about Mexico, unfortunately. I'm American.
Sombreros.
How you guys doing?
All right.
Fantastic.
Doing good. How was your Christmas yesterday?
Amazing. Probably one of the best Christmases I've ever had.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear.
What about
I got
you,
a
Tim?
What happened to your lights, Matt? Okay, my Christmas was
talking.
fantastic. I spent time with my girlfriend's family. We were over in Harrison Hot Springs. It was beautiful. Unfortunately, there was no snow this time around, but the lake it's so cold that the lake is covered in ice. So the kids went ice skating. It was mint.
That sounds very Norman Rockwell. You
I
know,
know,
what I'm
but
saying?
I mean-
I like that.
I feel sorry for those folks that live in a part of the world where Christmas doesn't have snow. It's like white Christmas. How can you not have a white Christmas? I mean, it's just...
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, like Florida, and in Florida, they don't even use Christmas trees sometimes. They use like baby palm trees, I've heard.
I know, they
That's
just...
true.
Yeah, they just wrap their
lights.
palm trees because they don't have any pines. Where do you get a pine tree in Florida?
And those of us that are checking this out for the first time, the beautiful British accent,
I know.
you know,
Yeah.
is, and we're taking up, we're making up time while Mr. Campbell's fixing his in-house
lighting setup.
You know, the funny thing about this actor,
Don't worry about it.
he's got a good
You know what? Oh my gosh, he can still hear us.
Uh-oh. I guess we better start talking about it then. So
Yeah, okay, he's
no
got
more
it.
talking. Oh, there he is. He's back.
He's
Okay.
back.
I heard all that.
So, Okay. Let's do quick background.
Yeah, I was about to say,
quick.
like, we forgot the number one question we always ask. Who the hell are you, and why
you?
should we care?
Okay, Matt, you go first because nobody cares.
Okay. We are the Airsoft Amigos, and you should care because we create unique video content that is not the normal, I guess you would say.
Mm-hmm.
We decided to focus on creating airsoft entertainment, a little more comedy, a little more cinematic, a little more like a movie crew would do, because there's not enough stuff like that. Everything out there is gameplay videos and cheater videos and shot in the dick videos. And we figured let's raise the bar a little bit. And Tim's got some acting skills.
He's got
anyway,
just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a tip.
So yeah, we wanted to bring something different to the table. And once I got Tim involved, we definitely started to really
Nice.
change things, I guess. So.
Where can people find Airsoft American
Amigos Airsoft?
Where can they find Airsoft Amigos on social media?
Well, YouTube, obviously, you can look up the Airsoft Amigos. But we also have airsoftamigos.com. We make that a really easy link that we can tag, and it'll take you right to our YouTube channel.
Very cool.
The easiest way. And I think we're the Airsoft Amigos on Instagram. So
Yes, make sure it's at the Airsoft Amigos on Instagram, because if you just put at Airsoft Amigos, there's like Jake, Paul, and these three kids. It's with two photos posted.
Are you talking about Hanson?
No,
Wasn't
no.
that the Jakes? The kids that sang with the blonde hair?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, the great music.
So real quick, before we get into Airsoft Amigos, just give a quick background from each of you of, what you do for a living.
Matt, go right ahead.
yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. I am an actor myself, or a struggling actor, because if I was a proper good to go actor right now, I wouldn't be using this laptop. I would have a nice desktop, like Matt does, except for some reason he's using a laptop, so he reverted back. I wear quite a few hats. I'm currently working at Trigger Airsoft as a part-time salesman. Soon I'll be working at the Park Marriott Hotel, and the casino portion, being the voiceover person, selling cool products and telling people about new games and cars and stuff they could win. So that should be fun. And I'm also joining their media department. So I'm going to help with advertising for the Park Marriott in Canada.
Man, so I guess when you are as Tim put it, a starving actor, and it's actors gender neutral, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we've moved away from actress at this point.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's actor.
I think so.
Like,
so, I totally get you have to have, several different jobs to make up, 40 hours
to actually pay rent.
I know.
And food and stuff like that. Yeah, just important stuff.
Do they pay rent in Canada, or
I think it's just free healthcare. That's it.
free healthcare? Do you have free healthcare?
I think it's free healthcare in Canada. I'm not 100%.
Do we get free healthcare? Oh.
Oh, and
We do have free healthcare.
I
Yeah.
think everything else is just like America, though, except they're politer.
They're politer.
They're politer.
Yeah,
Okay.
Apart from
we
that.
pay everything with moose meat and snowballs.
Oh,
And maple syrup.
actually,
Drizzle.
Jonathan from Airsoft Innovations sent me a small bottle of this premium syrup from Canada. It's actually like wax sealed on the top.
Sounds delicious.
It's like I almost don't want to open it.
I actually thought it was
and eat it.
I thought it was booze when it was on his desk. I was like, "Oh, that's a little bottle of Maker's Mark." Nope, that is that's not whiskey at all. That's too sweet for that.
Yeah.
So
You know what? You should pour that
No.
all over your pancakes. Make it
Yes.
smart. Go ahead. Why not? Make things interesting.
glad you said pancakes.
Yeah, it's
other
glad you
than-
said pancakes. Matt, tell us about yourself.
Hang on. Maple syrup tip. You can take maple syrup and pour it onto snow when it's really, really cold out, and it'll like harden into like a maple syrup candy thing.
Okay, I get where you're coming from, but
believe.
you get that you're
Yeah.
you're telling this to an audience that is afraid of yellow snow. So
Well, maybe the syrup's not going to make snow
This one's a little
yellow.
more
I'm just
brown,
saying, like,
bro.
Americans are not that cultured when it
I
comes
guess.
to this stuff.
It's more golden snow at this
Okay.
point.
Golden snow.
We'll have to
Canadian
try that.
protest.
Yeah. Don't eat that yellow snow where the Huskies go.
Right? About myself, I live up in Vancouver as well with Tim here, and I work in the film industry full time. That's my full time gig. I'm a greens coordinator, so I build movie sets, trees, dirt, all the redneck stuff. They want a forest in a parking lot. We go up, we chop it down with chainsaw on our trucks, and we build a forest. I've worked on pretty big movies like Star Trek Beyond, The Revenant, Maze Runner 3. That's my full-time gig. And then on the side, I like to call myself a director and feel like I'm going to be successful at making movies and spending all my money on them, which
Tends to happen.
I have to say, Matt gets 1,000
Not
cool
talking
points
about
for the
that.
job. That's rad.
Anymore.
Star
Dude,
Trek
Revenant?
Beyond? I was more Star
Maze
Trek
Runner
Beyond.
3?
Yeah. Rad, big sci-fi movies. And for two huge nerds over here on the other side of the camera,
Yes.
we're both frothing at the mouth in jealousy right now, essentially. Like, I mean, I would have loved to be on that set, just for any reason.
Okay, so, ignore us peons
Thank you.
that,
We
that
just
are always on
disconnect him and we'll just talk.
So, with you guys in the industry, have you ever had a fanboy moment? Or is it just, he's an actor, he's a producer, he's a grip? I mean, have you guys ever had a fanboy moment?
Matt, go ahead. You've met bigger stars than I have.
I think the very first movie I ever worked on, called The Last Mimsy, I turned around and like Rainn Wilson was there, and I was like, "That's Rainn Wilson from The Office," because The Office was still going. I was like young and like, wow. But after that, you kind of just, you talk to him. I talked to like Michael Clark Duncan. You just kind of start to be like, oh yeah, they're pretty normal people like us, and it kind of fades away after a while.
I wouldn't
And
be,
me and DiCaprio are best buds, so.
I don't think I would have been able to help myself. If I met Dwight from The Office, I'd have to steal his stuff and put it in Jell-O. I couldn't help myself. Just have to do it.
Yeah, Pop is yoga ball too.
If I just script
I
in
don't
Jell-O,
blame
his
you.
costume, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, he thought I was going to blow our lunch tent up because I was trying to get a propane heater going and it wasn't working. You could smell propane, and he questioned me on it, and I wasn't sure how to answer.
So-
Nobody died.
So
It
top
was all
tip,
good.
Rainn Wilson, very safety conscious. Good to know.
So, what
Likes
got
to be alive.
what got you guys into airsoft? Because I mean, as far as like film industry and acting industry, I mean, airsoft is kind of like a subsect that's kind of really far away from that. So
Yeah, I'd say.
I mean, what got you started in this hobby?
Matt?
Go, Tim.
Look, do you see how Tim always like, Matt, go right ahead, Matt.
See, I have to say, Matt is the director, quote unquote, but Tim's doing a lot of the direction around here, is all I'm saying.
We're both trying to be polite. I think we're saying the same thing. Okay.
All right,
Canadian
be a
neighbor.
little less Canadian. That's all we ask.
Yeah.
Never.
I went into a store to buy a bunch of camo. I work on a TV show called The Magicians, and we use a lot of camo net to hide stuff. So I went in to buy camo net. I was like, man, it's summertime, and I'm like, I need a new hobby. And I walked in, I saw all these awesome guns, and I was like, why didn't I ever try this? And so I talked to the guy at the store for a little bit. I talked to my buddy who works with me, and I was like, we need to get some guns and start shooting things. And so we're like, okay. So like that Saturday, we went and bought a couple G&G guns, and we showed up for like the last hour and a half at Panther Airsoft, not knowing what we're doing. Obviously had iPro and stuff, and had a blast, and was like, oh, that's it. I'm in. I'm here. That was 3 years ago.
So, Tim, how did you find your way into the world of airsoft?
I think I was about 12 or 13 at the time.
Oh, is he
At a
frozen?
convenience shop.
Oh wait,
Oh, me?
Yeah, you frozen. So you gotta start all over. You gotta start all over.
Okay. All right.
Take two.
A
Take two.
long,
We'll speak
a
your
long
language.
time ago in a faraway land called Hong Kong. I was about 12 or 13, and I noticed a convenience store that started selling these toy guns, and they were Tokyo Marui Springers, and one of my favorite ones was the Centimeter Master, so I bought that as my first ever pistol. But there were some electric blowbacks way back when, so that's how I started, and my friends and I bought a whole fish tank of multicolored 0.2 gram BBs. So we used that to shoot at each other on our rooftops. And we were not very safety conscious. We were terrible 12-year-olds. We didn't have any glasses, but my friend just ran around with spectacles anyway. And at one moment, I racked back a Springer, fired it at him, hit him in the glasses, and we were just like, okay, we got to stop. We all have to wear glasses, and from then on, we've been very safety conscious.
It almost sounded like, instead of fired at him, it sounded like he farted at him.
I like the fact that 12-year-olds' idea of like safety is like we need to get glasses now. Now that we've seen,
I know, right?
like the idea, the 12-year-old logic is fantastic. Like we don't need to have like face masks or anything. No, now we'll just go get glasses. It'll be okay.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
He just said he started playing in Hong Kong.
Wait,
Wait. Are you Red Wolf, Tim?
Oh no!
Who's that guy?
I'm having a fanboy. You didn't tell me this was the same Tim. I'm having a fanboy moment. Like I'm having a fanboy moment right now. This is ridiculous.
Funny-
Yeah. So for
Funny
our
thing
audience,
about that, people do not associate Hong Kong with Red Wolf. They think that Red Wolf is in the U.S. So when I tell them that I was raised in Hong Kong, they were like, "Wait, I thought you were in the U.S. the whole time when you were doing reviews." And I was like, "No."
Honestly, from over here, people think Red Wolf is in Japan.
do they really?
No.
I mean, I just.
Because
yeah.
like a lot of the Japanese brands like pop up.
Oh
on
yeah,
their side,
that would make sense.
You know,
if they're the main like Japanese importer, then
well,
that would.
they are the only importer of marui out kind of into the
For
Hong
Asia.
Kong for Asia. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. I can see these
Aside
associations. So, just for our audience, I have to explain my fanboy moment here. So, when I first started Airsoft, I tried to consume as much as I could. I didn't want to ask anybody anything. So, where do you go for that information? YouTube. And one of the videos I found was Tim's stuff, and I used to love the fact that he was one of the only videos back in the day that would include a actual target range shooting demonstration of the guns. It was great. Loved it. And it's kind of funny now that I'm interviewing him on the show.
Okay. Embarrassing
Not
moment.
that I was ever accurate with those target shooting moments. Anyway.
Oh, it was still good.
Especially when Tim was filming himself. Well, somebody else was filming him, but he was doing a video riding horseback with a lever action rifle,
I haven't seen this
airsoft
one.
rifle, trying to hit target. Well, I mean, he had this whole thing where he was like all dressed up like a cowboy. But then when he had to get on the horse, he had to wear a little black British riding cap. You know, and he's got this poncho. I mean, he looked like an amigo, and it was just like, dude, you just blew the whole look right there.
I think the 10-gallon hat, I never made it. Well, actually, here's the question. Where do you find cowboy clothes in Hong Kong? I mean, do you have to
Hong
order
Kong
it?
is a huge equestrian city.
Oh, okay.
So when they were doing the 2000, like the Beijing Olympics, the equestrian part of it was done in Hong Kong because of our, like how we have race courses, jockeys here and whatnot and but we don't normally have cowboy stuff. We just have the things that equestrian riders use, such as boots, chaps.
Isn't the pants called jodhpurs? I think is that the name of the pants?
Yeah,
the
those
fluffy
are
pants.
jodhpurs,
Yeah,
yes.
jodhpurs. I love that name. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's like a spandex.
So Matt, tell us, how did you meet this crazy cat?
Well, I, like you, watched a bunch of his videos. Most of what I took away was, I don't know where this guy's from, and it's all over the place. It's obviously fake. Right after I got into Airsoft, I was playing at Panther, and I heard this guy talking beside me, and I was like, oh, that's weird. I looked over, and I was like, that. And it was like, no. Yeah, I was like, are you Tim? And that was it. I might have fanboyed a little bit because he was probably the first YouTuber I'd ever really met. And then very quickly, I again realized he was just a normal, boring person like myself.
But through the magic of
And,
TV, he looks amazing.
Yeah, exactly. But he was like super chill and fun to play with. And then eventually it was like, hey, you want to make films together? You want to be? I wanted to make A Few Good Boys, our action film. And I was like, well, I can get Tim in this, and maybe House Gamers and all these other people will just make a cool action film. And that was kind of a real first like director actor relationship role, I guess. And right, so
And you know what? We are actually gonna play. How long is that film? I can't remember.
I think it's five to
6 minutes long.
5 to 6 minutes.
Yep.
So at the end of the show, when we're done with the event segment, before the credits roll, we're gonna show their little short film.
Could we maybe call it a screening? Would
That would be
a
amazing.
screening
Ooh.
almost?
Private debrief.
A
screening.
private debrief. Ooh, I like that. Debrief movie time.
Blue carpet.
Ooh,
Yes.
yeah.
Blue carpet.
Blue and yellow carpet. Blue and yellow.
Blue and yellow.
Blue and yellow. Very
Okay,
important.
blue and yellow.
Golden carpet.
Got to show honor to the Jersey ring. Love you, Gina.
So, man,
That's cool.
so you guys started play because I think it was like the very first episode, if I recall. All I remember is there was like, what was it? A lot of glass and guns behind you guys, like sitting in like leather chairs. Was that right?
The Airsoft show.
Yes, of sure.
Yeah.
The airsoft show. Okay.
That was the Tim's brainchild, actually. Tim had an idea of like an Airsoft style talk show, and then over many beers, it just kind of we started formulating a plan. Props goes to Tim on that one. I hate to say that.
So it actually started
Not
as the
wrong.
Airsoft show and then formed into the Airsoft Amigos?
No.
No, the Airsoft Amigos was already up and running. I think we'd already done like a combat reporter one, and most of what my channel was at the time was gameplay videos. And so once Tim came in, we started like, I was already talking about making more entertainment, and Tim was like, I have this great idea. And then we said, well, let's make this part of our brand, I guess. And we ran with Tim's idea. So the Amigos were, we just weren't as well known, for sure.
Oh, okay. So do you still do the Airsoft show stuff?
No, not right now. It's a lot of time and effort. It was a lot easier when me and Tim lived closer together, and it's like just schedule wise, I'm like so busy this year. I think we want to do a couple more episodes. It's also like it's a lot of work, and sometimes it didn't always feel like the payoff was there. Like we put a lot of work into our Christmas episode, and then it's not like it's suddenly out there and you're getting a ton of feedback and a ton of response, and you're just like, man, like any YouTuber though, like you have to grind. But we also have other ideas and things that we kind of wanted to focus on as well. And we fell behind in some of our reviews as well. That's the other thing too, is like so much content we want to put out and only so much time. And it's like, what do you focus on that's really going to help your channel grow? I don't know. Tim, what do you think?
Well, and here's the thing is that I don't think, viewers always realize that people who make this, including us, we need to sleep and eat and see our families. Those are important things, like I can't just live in the studio 24/7.
I know.
Even though I have been lately.
To give the folks an idea, so they're going to watch the clip at the end of the show, the 5-minute clip. How many hours of prep and how many hours of shooting and then how many hours of editing, if you could guesstimate, went into that 5-minute short?
Oof, Matt.
The prep wasn't bad because I just wrote an idea that the field would be cool with because they were going to use it as promotion. So writing wise, it probably was like 5 to 6 hours of writing and like bouncing around, make sure everyone was happy with the script, making sure the lines worked for like Dayton, who was a newer YouTuber at the time. And shooting wise, I think we did 2 9 to 10 hour days. From showing up, setting up the gear, I had a shot list of what we want to try and achieve. Like I need a really cool slow motion shot of BBs bouncing off this stuff. And we brought out like professional camera operators, people who I know in the industry. I'm like, hey, I want to shoot this cool action piece. People like, Matt's shooting something cool. Let's go help him out. And so I was really lucky to have like pro crew come out. And yeah, it was probably I'd say probably 20 to 25 hours. Cause I think we did a little bit on a third day, didn't we, Tim?
Yeah, I think we did just a little extra catch-up work.
Yeah, just little catch-up bits. Yeah, things that might not have worked out, a little misfocus and stuff.
Not to interrupt, but
10 hours of editing.
So when you bring other professionals from the industry in, is this like I don't really know how this works. Do you guys work on each other's projects as like I do you a favor, you do me a favor, or is this like a paid gig when people come in? because when I hear
not
professional
paid.
camera operators, that sounds expensive. You know what I mean? Like, so it must help out a lot to have people you work with on a daily basis that you can just say, hey, can you hook me up with a favor on Saturday? I need you to run a camera. Does that make it easier or harder?
Right. I tend to do like a blanket Facebook post because I make my own short films and a lot of it is action and big cinematic and like trying to aim for Michael Bay stuff.
Mm-hmm.
People often want to come and work out on my project because most people don't shoot stuff like that. Because it costs money. Like my director's reel has me flipping a car, and people are like, "I want to come out and help you out because that's really cool to shoot, and I've never shot that." Right? Because most people won't spend $4,000 to flip a car, but I did it for a movie trailer. So most of the people that are coming out are getting to shoot something they don't normally do. I.e., they work on a Hallmark operating camera, and like this is really boring. I'm gonna make you sprint through the woods, following these action dudes around. We're gonna get epic slow motion. Like, that sounds cool. Bring me in. You don't have to pay me. I just want some cool camera operating stuff for my reel. So a lot of it comes down to people who are gonna get something out of it. Whether it's a title upgrade from a focus puller, and now they get the camera operate, but they're familiar with the gear. So it's all like social collateral. Like, a lot of people are happy to come out and help for the experience and knowing that they're gonna get to do something fun.
Yeah. I have a question. Because I've been helping with...
I will never pay Tim.
No.
Neither will we.
I wouldn't pay Tim.
I wouldn't pay Tim. I'd make Tim pay me to be in my movie. Fuck that.
On the first project that Matt and I worked on with each other, A Few Good Boys, he's killed me in every single movie afterwards.
Oh, so you're Jeremy Renner,
yeah.
who didn't live through a movie till Hawkeye.
Or in the red shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it gets progressively worse.
So I have a question. When, say like when you have your crew, not actors, but when you have your crew, do you go to the area and go over a shot list on the day you're going to start shooting, or do you try to see if everybody can come out before you got, the actors out there for shooting?
Right. Like on the freebies usually, or like small projects, I have an idea what I want, but I'll go out and I'll do like a quick walk around in the morning with everyone. Be like, hey, let's go here. I think we'll shoot here. And you get ideas from like your cinematographer, because he'll be like, the sun's good here at this time, and this is better here at this time, because light's a huge factor, especially like we weren't running around with lights. Lights is a huge setup time if we were shooting like with more money. So we shot all natural daylight. But ordinarily, I would go out on like a tech survey with all the department heads, and we would line it up and talk about the logistics and do that. But here we were definitely more run and gun. Like, hey, let's go. Next set right here. Boom. What about this shot? This shot. Tim, run here. Okay, look awesome.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, if our audience hasn't picked up on this, we're taking notes right now to make better production value for you.
Yeah, it's the only reason why I joined the Airsoft Amigos.
Wait, you kind of stepped on each other. What was that?
It's the only reason why I joined the Airsoft Amigos, because Matt could bring production value for something that I've always been wanting to do for Airsoft.
And see, I guess that is the ultimate example of always say yes. Yes and is what should be everybody's motto in life. Because if you say no because you're not getting what you want, or maybe you're not getting paid for something, that's an experience that's gone, and the people you might meet doing that, it carries over.
Because I know that, there was a lot of times where Tim was on both sides of the camera. Where he didn't have a cameraman. He would like literally go, click, hit record, and then he'd run back over and he'd do his spiel. I think all of us have done that. Yeah,
at least
at some point.
At least for an Instagram video or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Look at me, I'm here making my
And it's Tim. I got a question for you.
Sure.
What is the coolest role, whether filmmaking or airsoft, filmmaking, that you have ever been a part of?
And then I have a follow-up because I got a good one for that.
Okay. Matt's latest project, of which he's currently working on editing, was by far one of the coolest roles that I actually got to play, even though I had no idea I had a script until the actual day. He says, Tim, do you want to die like this? And I said, yeah, sure. And then like on the day, I was like, hey, Tim, did you learn your lines? I was like, I had no clue I had lines to learn. So thankfully they were really easy, but this character was meatier, darker, had troubles, drug associated, mob associated. So it was fun to dive deep into a character that was sort of like I purposely made mentally like ill, but not that he was mentally ill, but it just made him just a little bit crazier than the typical person that you see on the side of the street. But it was a fun character, and the way he offs me at the end, towards the end, is something you're going to have to see at a later date.
Have to wait and watch. Oh. Was this the first time you've ever had to die on screen?
No, Matt, in another in another one, hit me with a car and then realized I was still alive, and then threw me in the car and then beat me with a hammer. That's one. That's one death.
Okay.
What does it say? Do we murder the ones we love? Is that what they say?
Okay. Have you died in a film that had nothing to do with Matt Campbell?
Outside of project, yes. There was a student film back in Hong Kong many years back where a character of mine had died because of some gambling issues that he had gone through. He needed to pay people off. He didn't.
So, quick, this runs from Matt first, and then we'll go to Tim. So, you've done a bunch of cool projects. You're doing your passion projects. You've done stuff that you've worked on professionally. What is your, like, ultimate dream project? Like, you've talked a little bit about doing Michael Bay-esque stuff. Like, do you want to have your own Transformers? Or are we talking, like, do you want some passion piece about, like, you know, the 18th century art?
Or maybe...
What is your dream production?
Across another famous
actor.
Movie,
What's your dream production, sir?
Tell them about your movie, man.
Honestly, well, I mean, the thing is, like, I've got my movie going that, like, I am trying to get off the ground, and it has possible funding. It features an American soldier who comes home, and somebody's trying to get him for what he did overseas in Afghanistan.
Ooh,
and that is
a little close to home.
But it's not like a clear-cut good guy, bad guy. It's kind of the opposite of any Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, because in this movie, you understand why the guy wants to kill him, and he's not a terrorist. Mm-hmm. So it's got some more ambiguity to it, and it's kind of meant to make you look at both sides of the war. And that is definitely, like, that's my dream project right now, and it's got some interest, but until it happens, hey, you can have $3 million, by the way. No, never mind. We'll come back to that. But,
well, just hearing that elevator pitch, brother. Oh, sorry. Am I talking over you?
It's all good. But the whole idea is that once I build my brand, people are like, oh, this guy does cool stuff. Maybe, you know, I win a couple Oscars. Then I want to do a Spider-Man or a Transformers movie. And those are my current running jokes. Is I'm like, don't worry, guys, Transformers 12, it's mine. Because I like big, epic spectacle. I like moving shots. I like that type of stuff. Because not every movie has to make you go home and question your life decisions. Sometimes it's just nice to let your eyeballs bleed and enjoy a film.
I have to say that elevator pitch, well, that's a movie I'd like to see.
Man, if I had $3 million, I'd definitely back you.
Because I'm kind
of...
You
got $30? I'll send you my email address.
Because, you know, I did go to Afghanistan twice with the U.S. Army. That's my background. Cool. That very scenario is a discussion I've had with some of my old teammates. You know, you always wonder if something maybe you did bad back is going to come haunt you or something like that. So that's a really powerful film that I think no one's really approached yet. That's an very interesting topic of showing that everybody's right in their own mind when they go to war. You know, that's deep, man. Absolutely. So Tim, same question to you, man. What you got?
If there was something that I were to jump into in the future, hopefully the near future, not the far future, but I've always loved playing some really really great superhero villain.
Ooh, you do have the voice for it, my friend.
I mean, just because I'm English, is every English person a bad guy?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, speaking as an American, if you have an English accent, you're the bad guy, period. That's just how it is.
All the Imperial officers all had
English accents. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Well, which is weird because Palpatine didn't have an English accent. Darth Vader didn't have an English accent. Stormtroopers didn't.
Yeah.
But if you were an officer,
Well, you were upper
you had
class.
an English accent.
You were upper. Yeah, if you went to the academy, they apparently it was all British guys there teaching you. Apparently, that's how it worked. The Imperial Academy.
So
That's why they're all bad guys.
So Tim, would you want to be a hero or a villain or an anti-hero?
Ooh, I like
Well, I originally did say villain, but I recently started looking at the Flashverse, and one of their new anti-heroes is Godspeed. And Godspeed is a guy that has the ability to be in two places at once because of how quick he is, and he needs two speedsters to take him down. But the only reason why he's so dark, the reason why he is the way he is because there was a lightning storm. He got struck. Unfortunately, his brother was killed in some sort of something. So he decided to take matters into his own hands. He was taught by Barry Allen how to use his powers, but then decided to go on his own route, kill the people that were. It just goes over like moral boundaries. He goes through this dark phase, and then Barry Allen sort of arrests him, and they take him back, and so he becomes good again. The comic is very good. I really like the Godspeed comic.
It's really cool to see, because Tim, you and I met
100,000 years ago.
IWA
So old.
2014, wasn't it? I think so.
Did we not meet?
No, it was before that.
We came to Hong Kong.
No, because I actually visited you guys in the booth before that, but it was when like Fan Court was working for you guys and everything. So it was actually before that. So maybe 2010, maybe. But it's really cool to see where you're at now, because like, not that being the face of Red Wolf is a bad thing, but you had this very boy next door, wholesome, kind of innocent image. But it's so cool how to watch you over the years, is that you've actually started pursuing your acting career of actually exploring yourself, finding these new roles, doing things that people didn't know, didn't think or associate with you in the past. So to see you passionate and motivated about these different roles, it's just it's kind of, I'm kind of, even though I have nothing to do with it, I kind of like having a pop up.
Are you having like a airsoft daddy moment, like little proud papa?
I am.
Like he's now older Gabe's older brother, out there, because honestly, like you guys are. I mean, can you get us to a big view for the viewers? Because you should see the smile on Kaiju's face right now. It is.
Oh wait, no, that's Tim's face.
Oh, that's Tim's face. Because
that's...
if viewers can see him big, like he is talking right now, and he's gushing. Like, look at this smile. Like, I mean, I normally he's a happy guy, but this is rare. I mean, and I spend a lot of time with this dude in close quarters, and I wish I didn't.
Well, the only thing missing now is to really prove that you are now an adult and a darker actor. You got to get the nude scene, Tim.
Ooh,
yeah.
Sorry,
but only from the waist up.
Right?
Only from the waist up.
All actors do it.
And
hey, you know what?
You can't have a body double. No body double, Tim.
I was in the new taco commercial, so there you go.
What kind of commercial?
Nutaku is a website for sort of plus 18 mobile gaming, and they were showcasing. They did a commercial on a new chair that they were coming out with, and I don't recommend anybody. You know what? I shouldn't have brought it up. Nobody should watch that video.
Should we bring up the Cottonelle commercial?
For all of our audience, I will give out.
Wait, he mentioned a cotton.
Hold on.
Wait, I've seen that commercial.
I've seen it too. I'm going to put this out there. A challenge to our audience. There is a patch in it for you from the Peltast himself. If you can find me the most embarrassing clip of Tim doing a commercial or something hidden that he doesn't want us to know about.
Have you seen the Cottonelle commercial?
Oh, I've seen it. It's bad. If you can beat the Cottonelle commercial, there is a patch.
Should we play that as the commercial?
Yes, there we go. Cottonelle commercial.
I am actually not ashamed of that commercial. I'm very, very proud of it.
No, it was good, man. I liked it.
It was good.
It's just funny, especially for me, because I don't really know you personally before this interview. Seeing you doing that stuff, and then all of a sudden, like, I got sent this link, like, hey, here's Tim from Red Wolf. Like, what the hell is he doing? And I'm like, I guess he does more than airsoft stuff. I mean, apparently you can have a life outside of airsoft. It's okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You can have a life outside of being a YouTuber.
Yep.
That is true. A lot of, let's kind of change direction here. A lot of airsoft players,
Ooh, I know where we're going with this one.
They feel that they have to make, a big impact, on YouTube and constant content and always, at the grind. And I've seen some content creators go the way of the dark side.
Yeah.
If you guys had advice for people that wanted to get into content creation, whether it is YouTube or film crew of some point or acting, what would be the advice that you would give them?
I'll start and then Tim go, but I would say find your own voice. It's so easy to be like, what is Norbert doing? What's House Gamers doing? Oh, I have to have the Call of Duty kill counter at the bottom. I need the pop up when I shoot a dude. I'm gonna do gameplay like them. I'm gonna call out cheaters, and that's like the YouTube airsoft or starter package 101 that everyone just wants to do. Find your own voice. Find something else interesting. If you want to make a 20-minute video about how you snuck around the field with a lightsaber trying to get one kill with it, tell an interesting story in there. Tell your story and make it unique, and stuff like that will stand out a lot more than just trying to copy everyone.
My suggestion, I completely agree with Matt. Originality is a big deal, which is why I decided to work on the Airsoft show with Matt, which is why we do a mid-game unboxing rather than a inside your house safe unboxing. I still do the reviews, but I've done them my own way. I do them my own way, but if I were to start from the very beginning right now, and I did build some kind of fan base, whether it be 100 or 1,000, I say listen.
Here. Yeah, got one right here.
listen to your viewers. Be kind. Stay humble. Don't let it get to your head. The problem with a lot of YouTubers, that starts out, once they have a feeling that they're getting some kind of reputation, they can let it get to their heads. And
I think you're making a good point, because and again, we're not bashing somebody, but I think when somebody on Airsoft YouTube, just in generalities, they get that first reaction to something controversial that they released, they think, oh, that's it, that's what I need to do, and that's
the hook. I got to repeat that over and over again.
It's toxic to go down that route, just because sometimes bad exposure is not good for you or your image or your brand in the long run. And I really, it drives me crazy that people have a different persona online than what their nature is.
So to break this kind of down Barney style for our audience, let's put it this way. If you are someone who specializes in cheater videos, and that's how you made your name, not calling anyone out, really seriously, you then went find out that maybe fields won't want you on their field because you're bringing negative attention to their player base, whether it's deserved or not. Because keep in mind, and actually ASAP was talking about this last week, that sometimes when people who are not familiar with the sport, past having gone to a birthday party once, see one of these videos, they think this is the entire sport. They don't get it in context. They don't get this is a clip. This has been cut down from 13 hours of game film into 4 shots. You know what I mean? And you'll find that if you do enough toxic shit, you won't have any place to film your content. So it's kind of it's a closed loop. You know what I mean?
The most popular videos are online when it comes to Airsoft Cheater and some kind of unboxing video. Those are the biggest ones.
And don't forget the controversy videos, the
and also warriors. The unboxing cheater. Don't forget about the unboxing cheater.
That was Tim when he was unboxing the KWA, and he's trying to shove the battery in there, and he keeps getting shot, and it was hilarious.
So actually, I got a good one. Okay, I want to switch gears real quick. So I have a thing that I've been noticing ever since I started playing Airsoft. You know, because of my background, I'm kind of a gun guy. I'm not like a freak about it, but I know guns.
He's a freak.
I'm a little bit of a freak. Come on, I was an infantryman for most of my 20s, dude.
Everybody's a freak.
I live ammunition, okay? It's part of my blood, you know? Gunpowder's in my soul.
Manumission.
But so I noticed that a couple years ago, because I've gone back and the first movie I really noticed it in was The Losers, where airsoft guns have become the go-to prop in most action movies. So I noticed I'm going back and watching that movie. If you ever watch it, every single M4 in that movie is a JGS system, and it's very noticeably not a real gun. Like you can see that wide, fat front, you know, like handguard that does not look like a quad rail at all. Like every single gun is a noticeable airsoft gun. So, being industry guys, have you has the prop departments kind of that's where they're going to instead of buying replicas? Like, where is that coming from? And is that, you know, becoming more of a thing, or is that a niche thing?
It's honestly, it's incredibly cheap to use airsoft guns, right? Like it really is. Like I know armorers here in town, and all they do is pinpoint when they're using airsoft guns or this gun is wrong, and they obsess over this stuff and say this movie's terrible because of this. Whereas I'm in the realm of like, not every movie has a ton of money. You know, if they need 20 guns, they can beat them up and they're really cheap. The average viewer is not going to notice.
Plus,
you can get away with stuff like that.
Plus, a gas blowback pistol gives you all the blank firing stuff as long as you can not have the gas. Like you can edit somehow or hide the gas coming out of the barrel. I mean, that gives you real effect.
Exactly, and like the really good replica airsoft guns, like you can get them for cheap. You're not too worried about breaking them, as compared to having to get a fireman that's been modified to shoot blanks that cost so much per day, and they have to send their own armor with it. So you can get away with a lot. You can save a lot of cost by using airsoft guns when you're like, we're just going to add the bullet effects in post anyways. And I get it. I've done it. I've used airsoft guns. And if somebody wants to like hate on a video I made because I used an airsoft gun, I'm like, okay, dude, just sit back and enjoy the story. Don't worry about the fact that you caught a high cap for half a second.
So
you know I'm curious. Are you one of them? Are you worried here?
No. I actually think it's a great thing because not only does it expose people to airsoft guns that wouldn't be normally exposed to it. So, I mean, let's say that we get one grip or one prop guy on a 500 person crew who picks up an airsoft gun and when they're waiting for something to happen, plays with it a little bit and goes, "This is fun." That's a good thing. Yeah. And then on top of that, I like the fact that you can do. I like movies. I like TV. I like watching stuff. And the more people that can do more cool stuff for cheaper just means more shit for me to watch. So why would I be against that? I mean, I think it's funny because I'll point it out and be like, that's a S system. There's a Crytek, there's an ASL, but
in cinema history, there have been actors or crew that have passed away.
And that was what I was going to get to.
Accidental discharge or not proper safety.
Brandon Lee being the number one.
Lee.
Brandon Lee, number
one for sure. Right.
And I would be lying if I wasn't prideful because I actually named the ASL, Accelerate Sport Line.
Oh, another proud papa moment here.
It is because
age, sex, location.
Yep.
No. Even though I was a cop, that's not where it came from. Shh, Tim, be quiet. So,
Tim, you and I are going to talk about some secrets about Bob later, so I can have some ammunition. I need some stories.
But when I see the female actress on the Watchmen TV series on HBO wielding a Valken ASL Kilo rifle, clear as day, I'm like,
you didn't tell me that we had.
We had nothing to do with getting it to that prop crew, but it's like,
but it made it there.
I'm like, it's so cool. I mean, I see our hardback half finger gloves, Quinn on episode 6 of The Mandalorian. He's wearing the hardback half finger gloves.
So there's the
I mean, it's
the Zulus, right? Or no, wait, those are the
they're just the regular half finger.
They're
literally like $8 gloves.
I didn't realize that that was our.
So cool. I've seen them on Klingons.
That's cool
in newer Star Trek films, and stuff. And it is cool. It really is.
You can use airsoft guns. It's just that sometimes you just need to be very, very picky about which magazine you use,
Yeah.
or what kind of stock, or any modern gun could have any kind of handguard on it. So if you find an airsoft gun that you find noticeable, it could look like a real gun. Like the regular viewer wouldn't know this difference, but something that I would be very picky about is just making sure that the magazine is realistic.
Just make sure you have a mid cap. Just get a mid cap so you have no wheel at the bottom, or just take the wheel off. It's not that hard.
So
it's funny because like our local airsoft field, Panther Airsoft, is used a lot for filming. Sabrina has filmed out there. Batgirl has filmed out there.
Supernatural.
Filmed out there. Supernatural, like Stargate, for like tons of shows.
We need to get our
years.
ass to Vancouver for a trip. Is what I'm hearing.
And
that's right.
that's what I'm thinking. Hey, Tim,
terrain.
can I crash at your place?
Yeah.
Is there room for two on that couch?
1 and 2, but right next to me.
It's about as comfy as a
funny
van.
because we've when we've been filming out there, because one of the main things for the Airsoft Amigos is like, let's promote good, fun play. Let's encourage the sport. That's why we don't want to be like calling out cheaters and all this stuff. Let's just, I'm happy to take a kid in the game, and be like, here's what you want to do, and run around. I love that stuff. And when we were filming out there on 2 different shows, it'd be like, I'd talk to the field owner, Elliot, who's a good friend of ours, and I'd be like, hey, can you lend us a couple of guns? And, they're not open at the time. It's middle of the week, and we're wrapping up a film. And I'd take, 5 to 10 crews who want to go play. They would hook us up with gear and BBs, and we'd run around, and these guys who had no idea about the sport came out, they're like, that was incredibly fun. And even, one of them out of a group of 8 or 9 came back, and I didn't play for a couple months. I was doing a ton of stuff, and I came back, and he walks up to me, and he's now playing Airsoft. He's dumped a bunch of money into it, and he's got 5 or 6 of his friends, and they're all now hardcore Airsofters because of it, talking about camo and gear, and I'm like, I don't know any of this. I just like to shoot shit, talk to Tim.
High five, Matt. That is a way to grow the sport, brother. That is awesome. That is
cool.
1 million cool points from Peltast.
I mean,
here.
Have you ever, which made me, think about when you were explaining that, have you ever taken, you're shooting, and you have some actors that have literally never held a gun before? I mean, have you ever or had the thought of let's go play Airsoft for half a day so you just are more believable?
I have a friend who's my armor. He's a big fan of what I do. He's a believer that I'm going to do something really good one day. But he is experienced, handles guns, worked with the RCMP, which is the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Oh, the Mounties.
He knows his stuff. Yeah. The real guns that he has blow my mind. So I've gone and done CQB training with him and all this stuff. So anytime we shoot, even when we did another short film out at Panther, and it was a $40 film contest, I actually dragged out the Aces and Eights. I got 3 guys from that who are a local team. They're really friendly. I was like, do you guys want to come be in a short film for a day? We're going to run around. And they came out and worked with the armor for a bit. And the armor was he was so impressed with them, and they their weapons knowledge, their handling, everything. He was actually really impressed by how the airsofters handled themselves. So I've sent people to the armor for training, for somebody like Trevor Lerner, the show that Tim was in there with me. I needed him to come and clear that house and be able to handle a weapon realistically. So he had weapons training, but not airsoft training. But I thought it was really cool that the airsofters that I did bring out, my armor looked at them and were like, wow, these guys carry themselves very well because they train hard and they play hard. So I'll shout out to airsofters who actually really give a shit, because it was pretty cool. I was like, huh.
That actually raises an interesting question. So when you guys are looking to prepare your actors, and this is mostly for Matt, sorry, Tim, I'm not ignoring you, but we'll get to you with this. And you're looking to train to get that feeling. Are you guys actually trying to send them to some place to train them so that they can... Are they doing it to fake clearing, or are they actually trying to do it properly so it looks good like that? So, because speaking from the professional side of this, often the real thing looks terrible. People fall over. Clearing a building is just a rolling disaster, and it's just about covering each other's mistakes as you roll through from room to room. Guys fall down, they hit each other with their gun.
It doesn't look like a well choreographed machine.
It doesn't look that cool. So the question I have to ask is, are you guys rehearsing specific movements for each scene, or are you guys having them learn how to do it, clear the building or whatever organically, and then adjust it for cameras after that?
The second one,
Okay.
essentially, because my armor prides himself on teaching people proper protocol, and he does active training sessions where he'll take guys and show them how to clear, and they all just want to learn how to move and stuff like that. But we always aim for like ultimate realism. Like, let's go as real as possible, and then you adjust for the shot. And it's like there's the guys in town who get really irritated that the movement's not perfect, or the director wants to change something because it looks cool. But unfortunately, that's the nature of the industry. Someone was like, check these guys out in this video. And everyone they were doing the walk and keeping the guns here, and they were bringing their legs up. So they were like super nice and smooth, is because it looks a little weird compared to the guys running with their guns and stuff like that.
I think Matt is
if
so
I'm looking at
excited
guys
that
are coming in.
He's overwhelming his internet.
He's overwhelming his internet, and he keeps lagging out. He's just like, he's so passionate. He's like,
we lost that entire answer, and I really want to hear it. So could you start over from the top?
and talk slower.
Just slow down.
You're pushing too much bandwidth, brother.
Yeah.
All right. I'm pushing too much. It's Canadian bandwidth. You got to remember that. It's very limited. So essentially, a director will 99% of the time do what is best for the shot and for the show or the movie. So my armor will train people extremely proper protocol. This is the way to do it. And then we'll line stuff up and look at it that way. But if something needs to be tweaked to be better for camera, then I'll do that. Because like if I have three guys like really stacked up on a door and it's close quarters and I can't quite get a perfect angle, I might space them out a little bit more as they come to the door. I might try and stack them up a little bit properly so I can see all three faces. Stuff like that. So the movies will fudge a lot, and a lot of armors don't really care. I like to find that balance, and my armor does care, but he understands. He's like, well, you know what, whatever works for the shot, but we'll start with 100% realism, and we'll start scaling it back to make it work for the show.
So,
that's how most shows do it.
So a follow up to that, you keep using the term armor, and just to clarify, that it's kind of a weird term for me, because when I hear armor, that's like a mechanic for guns, and so it's kind of weird to hear armor and then doing training. So
what does armor mean in the film industry?
An armor is somebody who is responsible for the control and handling of weapons on a film set. Okay. Now, if you're doing like an episode of a TV show and like a police has a gun and he comes around the corner and, whether he fires or not or it's fake, and it's really basic and simple, the props people are trained, they have their firearms licenses, and they will handle that element. But if you suddenly get a gun or two going off and you get squibs and other stuff involved and multiple people with guns, they are now responsible, and all they do is focus on the guns. Because props people are focusing on anything anybody uses, a baton, a knife, all the small stuff. So the armors are there to take care of the guns, take them off the actors, make sure they're safe with the special effects stuff. So they're responsible. I mean, when you get like 18 going on, there's all these armors with 100 machine guns going off all over the place, dealing with the large capacity firearm users. So they are also responsible for the tactics.
So
as well,
is this like it's a one-on-one relationship in bigger shoots? You have like an armor for each actor doing stuff kind of thing? Because so forgive my ignorance, because number one, hearing the word firearms license sounds really weird. I don't know what that is. We just buy guns here. we just go to the grocery store and buy guns. That's apparently Walmart, grocery store, whatever.
And you turn the knob and a gun falls.
Exactly. That's what America's like. But I mean, it's not that bad. But like we were in Colorado, which is weird even for America in how we do things. So sorry, I got into that joke and lost my train of thought. So when it comes to actually coordinating or saying like, we're going to film, I don't know, tanks driving in formation. Is that prop people who are in charge of that? Or do you guys actually bring in subject matter experts who used to be tankers to talk about that? Like, I mean,
there would
I've
be
seen both.
A military tactical advisor for sure.
Okay.
Somebody would come in for stuff like that. Yeah.
Because it's just, I mean, it's weird because, I'm used to people who fix guns being one thing, people who train you to do stuff being another thing, but the guys who fix the guns don't actually know how to use them. any real way.
This is just a different world.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I'm really interested.
No, yeah.
Sorry, man. I'm just totally into this.
Oh man,
I got a question. I got a question for you guys. When you go out and you go watch a movie, either at the theater or at your home, you know, do you have to shut your mind off to just enjoy the movie purely as entertainment, or do you find yourself, you know, not nitpicking, but just like, oh man, that was really cool how he did that shot, or man, that he's a really good method actor, or that kind of prevents you from enjoying the entertainment for what it's meant to be.
Go Tim.
It depends on the movie. If it's a mindless action flick, then I'll just thoroughly enjoy it. If it's something like the Joker, if it's something like the Joker, I would watch it a few times. The first time would to be purely to watch and enjoy the movie, and second time would be to analyze how the actor goes about his routine in his, like, how he pinpoints like certain places to laugh randomly, or like why does he choose that voice, or like just the facial expressions he uses. It's all very interesting to me. I mean, sometimes I just do this really annoying thing, and I know every guy does it. Every guy who knows about guns does it. If you see a gun in the movie, you're like, oh, he's an MP5. Yeah, that's an M9. Yeah, that's a 1911. I've said that so many times. Girlfriends in the past were annoyed at me for saying, like, stop saying gun names out. What are you doing? Like, nobody cares. I care. I like to know my knowledge of guns.
What about you, Matt?
I'm kind of the opposite, because I don't usually watch movies more than once, unless I really like it. It'll take me a bit of time, but it's like, because I automatically start watching a movie and I'm like, okay, so why did they block like that? I was like, oh, I like how the camera came in and they did this. Like I start off studying it to kind of pick things up off of it. I'm like, oh, that performance was good. It's because of this. But then I find, like, if I stop studying it, the movie is either really bad or just totally enjoyable. Like a Transformers film, I'll study the blocking a bit, but I'm just like, oh, let it go.
I don't know how you can study the blocking on that, because that camera moves so fast.
I know, right? Where's he running now? Yeah. Well, the movie's so good that, like, I forget to study and break it down, and I just become like stuck in the movie, and that's really what I want. Because everyone in the film industry, you can't help but, like, I'm always looking at the trees. I got a guy I work with who's like, hey, there's already horse tracks here in this movie. They already did this shot. I'm like, just shut up and watch the movie. The lady is crying, her son's dead. Like, okay, forget about the horse tracks and looking for mistakes. You know what I mean? So, like, when you can really just dive into a movie and you forget about how to break it down or looking at it technically from a technical standpoint, then usually I know I'm watching a movie that's good.
So a follow-up to that for you guys, Tim first, and then we'll go to Matt with this. So Tim, when you are preparing for a role, now forgive me if I don't have all the terms, but are you like a method actor? Do you want to live that role? Do you go maybe try and shadow someone who might, fulfill that role? Like, what's your personal...
Do you do case studies?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know enough about acting to use the right words, but what is your personal...
How do you prepare for
There we go. Yeah. Thank you, partner.
Honestly, and I have to answer this honestly, because I have, like, aside from working with Matt, I have not been given a chance to work on a meteor role. So what I had studied in the past when it comes to, because I went to drama college for 3 years in Australia, and I learned techniques on how to bring out emotions from within, and then bring it, and then showcase that on the screen. So everything is an embodiment of what I already know and how to bring that out. So it's not mainly character acting; it's just bringing out what I know. It's just myself.
So you're
in that position. So it depends on it. If I'm just like an average Joe. Like I used to work at a desk, except some shit's gone down, and I'm just like, I don't need to work on and like study a person to do that. I'll just do what I do, and just like Ryan Reynolds, right? He's basically them in every single movie.
Ryan Reynolds plays Ryan Reynolds in everything he does. Van Wilder is Deadpool, and Deadpool is Van Wilder. Is all I'm going to say.
Yeah, exactly. But then, like, if there was a point where I would have to portray like the darkest one of the darkest roles would be like a psychopath. I would do my homework. I would watch movies. I would do case studies. I studied in the latter stages of high school. I studied psychology. So one of my favorite subjects was psychopathy. So that would be an interesting aspect to jump into, or just depends on what it is. I would definitely be doing my homework on the type of person that I would be portraying. I wouldn't honestly live on an island for 3 weeks by myself to portray somebody who is a castaway.
Okay, I can respect that, because that sounds terrible. So for you, Matt, same question, but it's as a writer. Mm-hmm. So because you write your own scripts, you've said several times, and you put a lot of work into them, bounce them off. So for instance, your passion project you were talking about, I assume you've done maybe some pre-script work, maybe an outline. How do you get into that process? Because, I mean, obviously your background is not fighting in Afghanistan or being part of the Taliban. So how do you place your head in that mind space? Because, I have trouble putting myself in other mind spaces, just for normal people who, did spend, 10 years in the fucking desert. So it just kind of it blows my mind that you can put yourself there. What are the resources you use?
Well, it's an interesting question, because I like to write a bit, but I know I'm not the greatest writer. So a lot of my that story came from actually listening to a song, and I just saw a guy driving home as fast as possible and banging on the dash and swearing his head off because he can't go any faster. I'm like, okay, well, where's he racing to? Story here. And I started with like a gangster. He's being forced to do a bunch of things. And I got into the idea of a soldier, and then like why these people come after him instead of like a traditional bad guy. So like the story just kind of, I originally was not meant to be that story. It came from listening to this song over and over, and then trying to find something that would make sense for this character. And that's where, the military background came.
So from what it sounds like to me,
the gangsters, now we've got this upset father coming after him. Yeah.
So what it sounds like to me is that you seem to pick an emotion or a feeling kind of, and then find the story that fits that emotion that you're working towards.
When you tell a story and you can connect with somebody's emotions, it makes it more real, more relatable, because I mean, there are times where I've seen a story that's a very emotional story, and you may react emotionally to it, but I may be just devoid because it doesn't connect to me,
Yeah.
And I think from a writer's standpoint, you are trying to connect the commonality with as many people as possible to understand, to feel a part of what you're writing.
That's crazy, because I always thought that you just kind of wrote a story and then you tweaked it till people liked it. You wrote I never really thought about it as being this ultimate expression that you can start with just like a feeling of guilt or sadness, and that becomes a 2-hour movie.
Right.
That's crazy.
Well, here's
you've broken it down more than I ever have, to be honest. Because to me, I just I feel something, and a father trying to save his wife and daughter is always something that I think a lot of people can relate to, and that was the main idea of saving the family. Everybody can relate to that. Time is running out. What do you do? High stakes, and everything kind of comes around that. That's pretty relatable to most people, whether they have a family or not. We all care for someone, right? So
that's pretty amazing.
That's true. So question: do you guys have Disney Plus in Canada?
Oh my God, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh no. We're treading dangerous ground here.
Have you seen The Mandalorian?
Do you mean the Baby Yoda
yeah.
that dude?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Hey,
Maybe
don't
maybe it
spoil
should
it.
be maybe it should be called Baby Yoda starring a Mandalorian. But have you guys seen any of the episodes?
Yes, all of them.
Okay, Matt.
I haven't seen the last one.
Okay.
The one that just came out. I haven't seen that one yet.
So, from being in the film industry, I mean, each episode for viewers that have chosen not to watch it for whatever reason, the episodes are literally 20 minutes long.
And I didn't realize that till he clued me in on it like 3 days after
You
I watched
actually feel like you've been watching like a 45, 50-minute action movie. I mean, what do you guys think make it... How they can tell so much in just 20 minutes? Because before you'd have to have these longer productions to get people connected, to get them to buy in and believe in the character or whatever. What makes it so successful of just being basically these 20-minute chapters?
There are quite a few TV series that I've known in the past that have like 20-minute episodes, most of which were comedic. But in this case, I feel like if Favreau himself was probably just test running the series, which is why it's only 8 episodes long, and it's like a pilot. It's a pilot season. It's going to be the first one of its showcasing is such an elaborate and in-depth world that everybody knows and loves. But I think just because there's always some kind of hero, and when it comes to a hero, there's always going to be problems. The risks and the stories will be very much the same as other series out there when it comes to heroes and whatnot. So there's like, oh, he's looking after something is going to go wrong. I think the idea behind each episode is actually very, very simple, and you do not need to attach too much to it. The less you attach, the simpler it is to follow. Especially for just the casual user. That's how I feel watching this episode.
That's very counterintuitive, because normally you'd think the more complexity you fit into something that you more tell stuff, but from what I'm hearing, the easier you make the message to access, the more people get it.
Yeah, so like one of the episodes was he's in a nice village. He's looking.
Spoiler alert.
Hold on. I haven't seen the latest episode yet, and I've threatened violence on people who's ruined it for me.
Okay, it's not the latest episode. I'm watching something halfway through. Have you?
Okay, so
yeah,
I'm waiting to watch it with. I have to wait to watch it.
Tim.
Yeah, I have to wait to watch it with my family. I have not been able to watch it because I'm trying to get my wife, me, and my child in the same place in an evening.
I mean,
it
was bad enough that we had to get our tickets for last week's premiere of episode 9. So I mean, literally tomorrow the last episode comes out.
I know.
It's I mean, it's.
Ooh. I'm resisting actually reading about him too. This is the first I'm enjoying The Mandalorian, and you know me. I love knowing the story before I go in. I watch movies for the cinematic value. I am thoroughly enjoying The Mandalorian. I don't think I've enjoyed this from just anything from a storytelling standpoint. I think the last thing I enjoyed this much was reading We Were Soldiers Once and Young by Joe Galloway and Hal Moore when I was about 14, which is the story of the Ayadrang Valley. They made a movie out of it. Doesn't tell half the story. Yeah, the book is amazing. It's actually written by Hal Moore and Joe Galloway, who were there. It tells a soldier's story on many levels. It tells the story of the commander and the battalion commander and how he was reading the history of the Indochina War before he went in and the mistakes. And then at the same time, it also tells the personal stories of, privates and lower ranking NCOs. Yeah.
Land the plane.
Sorry about that.
Land the plane.
I don't know where I was going with this. I really am enjoying it, and I don't want to ruin it for myself. And that's kind of I haven't enjoyed anything since that moment.
So Matt, why do you think it's being so successful, even though the episodes are just so short when it comes to clock time?
Oh yeah, I have one more answer, but go ahead, Matt.
Well, I think the one thing about it is it's essentially a Western in space. And so you don't have to be a super Star Wars nerd to appreciate what it's bringing to the table. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to know exactly what happened in the last 3 movies. There's nothing like that. It's a man who's on a mission. He doesn't quite know what it is yet, but he's got this little thing he wants to protect. And again, it's like everybody can relate to that, whether it was a pet or something. So I think it's simple. It's in a great universe, and I think the performances are for the most part generally good. And it's Star Wars in a TV show. Like,
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
if you would have told
that's
us 10 years ago we'd have something like that. Like,
I would have slapped you in the mouth if you told me 10 years ago. I'm like, don't get my hopes up. This is not a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so
Right.
last fun question.
Wait,
for you
hold on.
guys.
Tim
We
had
got
one more thing to
Oh,
add.
sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't want to.
Oh, I just thought that it was incredibly clever of them to use the idea of Baby Yoda, because if you weren't a Star Wars fan, and yes, some people, like you said, it's a spaghetti western. Some people are actually not into that, but the fact that they used a Baby Yoda, this species, was very clever because it brought in a lot of people who would not normally watch the show to watch it just because of that one creature.
Like the
Absolutely, and-
porgs in The Force Awakens. The porgs.
Yeah, apparently-
You fell in love with them. no
Okay,
matter what.
so the porgs were actually indigenous fowl to that island, and they couldn't shoo them off, so they CGI'd over them.
No, but it still I still fell in love with them. So did my son.
But at Star Wars Celebration in April, when Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni came out to do the panel, they actually said they delved into as many spaghetti westerns as humanly possible to have that feel, because whether it's Baby Yoda or the hero coming across a wagon train that was annihilated by a bunch of Indians, but there's a baby left in one of the wagons,
Right.
and he takes it off. I mean, it is a western.
I think it even goes farther than that, because it's a space western Ronin story. So if you know what a Ronin is, a masterless samurai in Japan, and there's a lot of early 1950s, 1960s TV shows from Japan that depict the wandering samurai. And a lot of times they'll have a sidekick of some kind, but I think this combines that aspect with the spaghetti western, and then we got spaceships. I mean, it's everything. Spaceships. So last question for you guys. This could be a fun one. So for both of you, what is your, you can go in any order you want, what is your absolute favorite movie that brings you the most joy? Like you could just watch it over and over and over again on loop. And then what is your pick for the best movie, the movie someone has to see before they die? Like the most, just well-crafted story, that whole thing.
Oh dear, that is such a difficult question.
I hate you so much right now.
I didn't even prep for this.
I know. That's why it's a good question.
So just to go over it, it's the movie that somebody has to watch before they die, and a movie that I could watch over and over again.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep.
Okay, I got my answer. I think
Okay.
the movie that I could watch over and over again, I would say, like, let's say I was trapped in a room and they're like, you have to watch this and you're watching it until you die. I'd probably be Inception, to be honest.
Ooh.
I love that movie. It's visually interesting. It's got great performances. Tom Hardy, before he was really known as Tom Hardy. And like, I just thought it was such a good movie with some smart decisions done. I know not everybody likes it, and it's not going to win any Oscars, but overall, like, every time I watch the movie, I'm like, man, how did you do this? Like, there's a lot I could study in that. So I think that way it's really, really good. And then the other side of the spectrum, I'd say a movie that I think everyone should watch before they die. I like war movies, but it's more than that. I think Saving Private Ryan. I think Saving Private Ryan brought a lot of realism and atrocities of war and what war was actually like to people that weren't expecting it. Like that beach scene in the beginning, people weren't ready for that gore that don't watch war movies. But when you're making vets cry and people are resonating with this and what they've had to go through, that tells me like this is a movie that should be seen. I mean, other than that, or the other Spielberg one about Auschwitz and stuff like that. I'm drawing a blank right
Schindler's
now.
List.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Right. Like either of those. But those are something that people will take something from and open their eyes up a little bit and learn something about. And I think that's really important if people are going to do anything.
Excellent answer. Excellent. Tim, can you top that?
One movie that I could watch over and over again, because I think it's a spectacular performance from a few of the cast members, would actually be The Dark Knight.
Good choice.
I'm a huge fan of everybody in that movie. Christian Bale did an amazing job. Heath Ledger, obviously, one of the top performances of his life, unfortunately. But like Matt knows me, I'm not much of a movie person. I watch a lot of TV series instead. And when it comes to movies, my movie knowledge is actually pretty terrible, and Matt could confirm this. But it's terrible. But I like what Matt suggests when it comes to that Saving Private Ryan. I feel like Band of Brothers is pretty much up there in terms of a TV series that's pretty much along the same level.
Band of Brothers was amazing. That's an awesome choice.
Yeah, it's amazing performances in that.
So actually, here's a funny side note for you, Tim. I am actually an alumnus of Able Company, second of the 506, which is the modern version of Easy Company, second of the 506. So I actually was there. I was there for about 6 months. So small world.
So cool.
Yep.
Cool, man.
Yeah. I would suggest watching any amazing wartime series. The Pacific or Band of Brothers.
Generation Kill was a good one, I think, too.
Yeah,
That was actually really good. Yeah.
If I honestly, if I just say, if you have to watch a movie series, just like go through the Die Hard series apart from the last one.
Oh, yeah, there you go. And by the way, if you don't think Die Hard is a Christmas movie out there, you're dead to me.
Oh, dude, it's been declared a Christmas movie.
Yeah, because there's two kinds of people in the world. There are people who think that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and people who don't. There's no gray area there.
So, man, guys, Matt, Tim, thank you very much. I mean, this episode has been an incredible ride.
Interesting.
It's been really,
Wait, are
really
we already
good.
done?
Yeah.
I thought we could do a couple more. You want to just keep going? We'll cut and go again. No.
So, but
Thank you. That was a rehearsal.
Yes. So, but no, I'm calling cut. So,
Okay, right here. We're cutting it.
But no, thank you guys very much. You've shared a lot of insight, a lot of knowledge with us and our viewers. More importantly,
I think this is like my top 3 interviews that I've participated in so far. Like this is up there. This has been a lot of fun.
I would say it's my number. It's my number one.
I have a 3-way tie. There's 2 others that were really fun, and I don't want to discriminate. So I'm gonna be positive with it. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to piss anybody off. Going to be diplomatic. Yep.
I got you. So thank you guys. I know it was trying to get you two on your schedules, living further apart in the Vancouver area and stuff, and not being able to just sync our calendars. But I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for taking time to be here with us.
And you guys in the chat, please show some love for these guys right now. Thumbs up, hearts,
mash the heart button,
cry face, whatever you want. Just just show them some love.
Yeah.
Anything helps.
I hope.
We'll take anything.
All right.
I just hope that everybody has had an amazing happy holiday and soon to have an amazing new year.
Absolutely.
Let's win for 2020.
So one more time before we go, Airsoft Amigos on YouTube. On Instagram.
Instagram is the
Airsoft
Amigos.
The Airsoft Amigos. And then Airsoft Amigos website will drive you
AirsoftAmigos.com
will drive you right back to all their content. Please go check them out. These guys are awesome and doing great stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
All right, we're going to cut to a quick commercial break. We're going to come back, do events real quick. But remember, after the events, we're going to show the 5-minute short that these guys did.
The debrief premiere of their movie.
The blue and yellow carpet.
The blue and yellow carpet.
Yes, exactly.
High five jersey.
Bring it.
All right, we'll be right back after this quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere.
Be sure to check out the Valken Tactical Kilo Gloves. Each glove is equipped with stretch mesh fabric and Velcro wrist closures. They come with silicone grips in those high contact areas and are touch screen friendly. These gloves are ultra lightweight and have soft gel padded knuckles to protect your hands against BB strikes. So no matter what kind of playing conditions you encounter, the Valken Tactical Kilo Gloves are the right fit for you.
And we are back, the Valken Debrief Airsoft Live Show, episode number...
Trapped in this tiny box now. What happened? Sorry. 108.
108, man.
Merry post-Christmas to all you guys out there.
I know.
One more time.
For those of you just joining us, you missed an awesome interview.
I'm I'm just spent. I am.
I know, right?
I have no energy left. All the moisture has left my body.
We might have to have them back for a part 2.
You know, I wonder if we could get the jet to go see them. Like we could go do like a cross stream Amigos debrief all in one.
You know, I've never been to Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been to Canada
I've
once.
seen the Niagara Falls from our side, but I've never been to Canada.
Have you been to South Dakota?
Yes.
That's kind of Canada. I think South Dakota is where Canada starts, and then South Dakota, Montana, that's just South Canada.
Yeah.
That's all.
So, let's go ahead and knock out some events.
Oh, do we have events this week?
We do.
Is there anything going on? It's Christmas
yes,
time.
I know.
Are you scumbags not with your family? Are you out
events.
playing? Okay.
All right. January 31st through February 2nd is Battle of Los Angeles 2020. This is in the Pacific region, and it is a Desert Fox Airsoft event.
Remember, download the app if you're going. It's very important.
Blue Fox Tracker app in Victorville, California at George Air Force Base.
Rad location, fun game. Go play. That's all I'm going to say.
Next up, we've got Operation Bone Strike 4.
Ooh, where's this at?
This is February 21st through the 23rd, weekend after Valentine's Day.
It is.
Yep.
So this would be to make up for missing Valentine's Day with your girlfriend.
No. This is like you
take her
make
to
the deposit on Valentine's Day weekend. Then she gives you the kitchen pass to go to
and then you
Operation Bone Strike.
Okay, so be good for Valentine's so you can go be TCA.
Yes.
Awesome. There you go.
This is in the southern region. It is a Third Coast Airsoft event in Vicksburg, Mississippi. So love Sal and Sam and Pope and all the work that those guys are doing.
Hope the Humvee makes it out there because that is a
it
cool
is.
truck. I like it a lot.
Yep. All right. Next up is Road to Kharkiv, February 21st through the 23rd, same weekend in the Pacific region. This is a Milsim West event, and it's going to be held at Hill 559 in Clovis, California.
Just remember, guys, when you're if you're planning on doing the Milsim West thing, when you pick your faction, you need to be authentic, head to toe. So plan early, get your stuff together, especially if you're going Russian or something weird. So.
And if you don't want to go into a full Russian kit or a full NATO kit, they do have
good. Oh, it's the
militia,
right?
Yep.
Okay.
They have militia.
So pro tip. If you want to be authentic, you know where to go. If you want to be kind of in between, play militia, plan accordingly.
Exactly.
So you don't show up and get told you're not in the right uniform. Very important.
All right. 1 month later, Milsim West is at it again, March. It is Saratov Insurgency.
Ooh.
And it is March 20th through the 22nd. They're going all the way across the state to the Appalachian region. This is going to be hosted at Old Fields, West Virginia.
West Virginia.
I'm not sure what's in Old Fields, but, go
check
it out.
Do you think there's maybe a field that's been there a while? Like an old field?
Well, no, I mean, I'm thinking that maybe a training facility or some kind of stockyard or something.
Maybe it's the oil fields, but they say it with a West Virginia accent, so it sounds like, oil fields. Like that, maybe. Because I've always thought Whataburger was actually Waterburger. Because everybody's, it was just like boiled. Yeah. So regional accents are a thing.
So next up, Traición en Copan.
I have no clue what goes on here. No one will tell me, and I hate you all for it.
Oh my goodness. This is March 27th through 29th, last weekend in March. This is a Centurion Milsim event in the southern region. It's going to be at a training center in Blakely, Georgia. Training area. Sorry, not a center. It's a training area.
And be prepared to role play a little bit because Centurion will push you in interesting ways.
A lot of immersion.
So be prepared for a involving weekend. Let's put it that way.
Yep. And also that weekend we have Operation Castle, March 27th through the 29th. In the Pacific region.
Oh, this is the jail game, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is in a prison.
Prison.
In Carson City, Nevada. This is an Operation Lion Claws event. And,
John Lou puts on a good show, is all I'm going to say. He puts on a real good show. I would say, if you're looking for the best thematic, is that the word? Like the feeling of chaos and confusion and the feeling of war, John does it the best with Lion Claws, I think, of any event I've been to.
Okay.
Maybe,
I
you
can
know,
respect that.
everybody does what they do best, and John makes you feel, at least for a moment or two sometimes, like you're there. It's great.
So, we've got permission from Airsoft Amigos to show their 5-minute short. But before we get to that, to close the show, we would just want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Enola Gay.
Yep, Nola Gay.
Valken Alliance. And if you caught the end of the show, don't worry. You can catch the rewind if you want to watch the full video right here on Facebook.
Yep.
Or if you don't want to deal with the comments and you just want a visual entertaining...
Something with a Y. I think it's
YouTube.
YouTube. There you go. YouTube.
Look
Okay.
up Valken Video
I heard
on
that's
YouTubes.
popular with the kids these days.
Check out our playlist, Valken Debrief. Or if you just want to listen to the show, podcast on SoundCloud. Just go to soundcloud.com and put in Valken Debrief.
And hey, new thing we're trying a little bit of, guys. Please, when you watch stuff, throw a like or a dislike. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. We don't care. Any kind of reaction, and if you can throw a subscribe on there. Some of the new algorithm stuff being done by Facebook and YouTube is pushing stuff people to the sides. So we're trying to maybe game the system a little bit, get our message out there so we can grow you, our audience, and you all have fun together.
That's right. So without further ado, we're going to show this clip for you.
Awesome.
And we will see you guys back next week, January 2nd.
Who's going to be here?
With Leo and Carl Lindell.
Are we having the Battleborn boys themselves in the well, not in the house, in our remote
and they're
safe
back.
house? Are they
They're
back? Are they
they're
back in their
the
safe?
United States.
So,
and we're going to find out their story.
I'm excited.
So, see you next week. Don't go anywhere. Check out this video. Bye.
Love you guys.
Yeah, hey Tim, how's it going, man?
Good, good. Just wondering, where the hell you are? I'm being pinned down here, and my whole team is dead.
Oh, sweet, yeah, no, we'll be there in no time. We're just looking at some dank memes.
Grenade! mercy? Huh. Somebody's duck hunting, eh? Hey, don't worry, I'm not gonna shoot you from this close. Do you know how much that would hurt if I... Ah!
What'd I miss, boys? Lloyd!
Hey guys, Matthew from Airsoft Amigos here. First off, thank you for checking out our short film, it means a lot. If you want to see more airsoft-based entertainment, like comedy skits, action films, things about airsoft that you don't normally see, then please subscribe to our channel. Give us a like, comment, share, all of it is going to help our channel grow because we're going to be bringing stuff to the table that you guys probably have never seen before in the airsoft entertainment world. On YouTube, etc. I definitely have to thank House Gamers, the meme team, Play 159, Airsoft Amigos, and the entire cast and crew who came out and helped. It was 2 days, not great weather. I really appreciate it. And a big shout out to Sean Seifert, my DOP. He helped capture all those amazing shots.
But there's only one guaranteed way you can have peace, and you can have it in the next second. Surrender.
I didn't think you had it in you.
I'm your huckleberry.
We will not go quietly into the night.
It is your killer instinct which must be harnessed if you expect to survive in combat.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen.
Remember this day, man, or it will be yours for all time.
What keeps you awake at night?
Nothing. I keep other people awake at night.